I will show you 5 testing ideas you can implement on your store's homepage to increase your revenue per visitor and conversion rate. Throughout the entire video, I'll be focusing on mobile design because nowadays mobile traffic represents at least 70% of the total website visitors for most e-com websites. And also all along the video, I will provide you with real examples and explain you why those websites are doing it right. And at the end of the video, I'll be showing you bad examples and again, why they are doing it wrong. Before we start, 3 quick disclaimers. All of the testing ideas I will show you must be split tested, not directly implemented on your store, so that you can actually measure the exact impact it has on your key metrics. To do that, you can use A/B testing software such as Optimizely, VWO, Convert, Crazy Egg, IntelliGems, and many more. Personally, I use IntelliGem to run A/B tests for my clients. Disclaimer number 2, make sure that before you run any CRO test on your website, you conduct research so that you understand what's actually going on your website, but also understand your website visitors' behaviors. To do so, you can use tools like analytics, scroll maps, heat maps, or surveys. Lastly, disclaimer number 3, make sure that before you start a test, you define its scope in advance. So which key metrics you are going to track, for how long you're going to let the test run to reach statistical significance. And all of that will depend on your business size, monthly traffic, and specific industry. Okay, so because your homepage is one of the most viewed pages of your website, you want to be very picky with which element you're showing first when visitor lands on your homepage. So the idea of this test is fairly easy, right? Like you have your current control version, which is your current theme. And here we're going to test against a new one where we are going to change a specific element, but not just any random element. This needs to be based on your findings from conducting research in analytics, heat maps, etc. The idea is that you have observed that a specific element that we'll call X is more important or essential or appealing or persuasive to customers than the current element that you have on your website right now. And so the hypothesis is that if we prioritize and emphasize this new element in the homepage, then users will be more likely to make a purchase, leading to an increase in conversion rate and revenue per visitor. Now you're wondering, okay, but what can be this specific element that we can split test against the current version? And I'm going to be showing you different things you could split test and actual examples of elements you can test against your current hero section. It can be special offer or limited time deal. I'll be showing you some examples just after. Bestsellers or popular product. New collection or product launch. Bundles to increase your average order value. Sustainability or ethical practices. Can also be specific question that you found people were very interested in your FAQ. Like for example, if on your heat map you're seeing like a lot of people clicking on a specific drop-down menu. Referral or loyalty program, if this has a lot of success in your store. Specific testimonial or success story. Product comparison. So one of the most famous of all of those is to actually showcase a special offer or limited time deal. So here are some examples, and if you want to make this work, you want to be very precise with how much people can actually save with this special offer. You want it to be time bound. So for example, if we check here, we can see that it's only August sale and it's only running from the 12th until the 31st. So this is very important because otherwise it can look quite scammy. Then your thing you want to make sure is that people understand how they are going to use this specific offer. So for example, here we have code labor, so that people understand by using this code, they are going to get 15% off orders site-wide. Here we can see discount applied at checkout. So now let's imagine that in our test, your website is, you're selling jewelry for dog lovers. So let's say, for example, the image here is a dog running in the park, and here we have jewelry for dog lovers. So what we could split test here, if we want to push toward like a special offer or limited time deal, is, for example, if we have a necklace with a dog pendant that is a bestseller, what we can do is actually push that offer. Let's say, for example, if you're selling worldwide and the US is 70% of your traffic and July 4th is coming, you could be running a specific sale for July 4th, pushing people toward that bestseller that you know converts better and has a higher margin than other products. And what's great with some A/B testing software is that you can run some personalization where for all visitors worldwide, you will showcase a specific version of your homepage. But for people in a certain audience or segment, you can show a different version. So here we could showcase this offer for visitors coming from the US. So what I just said, bestseller or popular product, is what those two brands are doing. You see here, they are pushing people toward the tree glider. Maybe it is because it is a new product, maybe it is because it's their bestseller, or maybe they have a higher margin on this product. And it can also be like a bait when you know that when people will buy this product, then they will add some probably cross sells in the cart. Here is another example, Wazoo. So they're making gears for adventurers. And in the specific homepage, they are pushing people toward fire starters. Next example is new collection or product launch. So if you know that you have a high return rate of visitors, what you can do to keep them engaged and interested is by pushing visitors toward your new collection, or if you have a product launch, directly on the homepage. So this brand is doing it very well. Every new season, they're showing their new clothes. It's fairly common for fashion brands, but also across many industries. So coming back to our example, if we're currently manufacturing a new collection of necklaces with dog pendant, what we could do is push this here. It can be just one product or an entire collection, just like the Noli Shop is doing. Next example is bundles to increase your average order value. Here, Rocksteady Stadium is doing it well. They make you understand that if you want to experience this stereophonic ultimate sound, you'll need to have multiple speakers, for example, at different places of your house, so that you get a more immersive or realistic auditory experience. And so they're pushing people toward their bundles where you can purchase multiple speakers. Bundling your product is a great way to increase your AOV, and that's definitely a speed test that I recommend you do if you're a product that matches together. So that is another example of things you can do. Then here we have another and last example for this first test idea, which is prioritizing sustainability or ethical practices. Here, the brand CarePod is using the statement, the world's cleanest humidifier, to make visitors understand that if you buy from this brand, you're going to have less impact on the planet and the climate change than if you buy from other brands. So if your ICP is very sensitive to ethical, sustainable practices, then you want to make sure to test those in your homepage against your current homepage. Testing idea number 2 is very simple, but yet so many brands aren't even testing it. It is to split test a new above the fold visual. And why is it so important? Because when people land on your website, the visual is the first thing they are going to see. So the test, as I just explained, is simple. You have your current visual and we're going to split test against a new visual. Again, it has to be based on your findings. So based on our research from analytics, heat maps, etc., we have observed that visual 2 is more important, essential, appealing, or persuasive to customers than the visual you currently have on your website. So the hypothesis is, again, if we add visual 2 in the homepage hero section, then users will be more likely to purchase, leading to an increase in conversion rate and revenue per visitor. Here are ways that you can split test your visuals. So you could split test static images against carousels or videos. I'll be showing you some examples of websites doing this. It can also be split test between lifestyle or product only visual. It can be different visual size, one that takes the entire above the fold or just a very small one. It can be showcasing one single product or multiple products. It can be like a collection, for example. It can be user generated content. You could use different styles like dark or more light. You could use vibrant colors or more pastels. And also you could check in your socials which visual is performing the best and see if this could be adapted to your homepage. One of the easiest visual speed tests you can run on your homepage is actually speed testing static image against carousel or static image against video. So for inspiration, you can go and check True Classic. They have a video running in the hero section of their homepage. Or here, for example, Modern Bow is using a carousel. It's a powerful test because even though it seems simple, for example, with the carousel, you can showcase different offers to visitors or give them different information about the unique selling propositions, etc. And you can see if this actually has an impact on your bottom line or not. And same with video. It is so much more engaging than simple images, especially when you have actual people on the video. Next example is lifestyle or product only visual. So on the right side, we have Kizik. It's a brand selling shoes. And just like True Classic, they are using a video in the background. But it's a very different type of video. Here, it's way more lifestyle. So they have different people walking in the street and walking in different environments wearing the shoes to make people visualize how it will be to actually have the shoes. So it's a very powerful way too. Here on the left side, we have a very different visual. So it's a still life where we only see the product, and what they are trying to convey with this visual is the simplicity and the clarity that using their product, so the 5-minute journal and other products are giving you. And also it's way easier than like when you have a video in the background to read the value proposition and also see the call to action. So that's also something you could speed test, having a lifestyle image or just the product. Another great speed testing example you can run for your visual is the actual size of the visual. So here, as you can see on the left, we have a very small visual, and here we have a very big one taking the entire above the fold space. And those, like both of these brands, are doing it very strategically. Here they use this big visual because they wanted to showcase the products, the chair and table, and overall the setup and the mood of the brand. Whether on the left side, they wanted to showcase the benefits, clean energy without the jitters, super focus and cognitive function. And by having a small visual, it drains the attention towards reading what's on the hero section way more. Whether here, we are way more drawn to looking at the chair and the setup. So different strategy depends on your industry. Next example, and we already talked a little bit about this in the first testing idea, but is this to showcase a single product or multiple products or an entire collection. Here I got two visuals for you where we see Original Grain who selected two watches that are probably the best sellers. And here Ana Luisa pushing people toward their new pieces of jewelry. So they probably have a high visitor return rate. Next example is speed testing your current homepage with a new one that is showcasing user-generated content. So here again, you can see a quite cropped visual, but there are many user-generated images here, which is a great way to show what the product does. And so then they're directly sending people toward this product that is probably the bestseller top faves. Here on the left, Happy Nutra is also using user-generated content, but in a way more subtle way, as you can see in those bubbles where you see customers with the product of the brand. And last example is visual style, and I really like this one because I think Shinestiri made a big effort to match the visual with the copywriting tone, which is kind of funny. So soft you'll forget they're on, and like they have the goat and the goat masks. Love you first pair, or they're free. That's like really good value proposition. Only thing I would have changed here is maybe having the guy on the left, because that would have been more congruent with the shopman and shopwoman with the woman behind. But that's just a small detail. But yeah, that's it for idea number 2. Let's move on to the speed test idea number 3. Testing idea number 3 is all about social proof. So based on our research, we have observed that visitors tend to trust more X social proof type of content rather than Y. So here on the control, let's say you have stars with 2,000 happy customers served, and you have found that in the research, people tend to trust more Trustpilot reviews. So we are going to split test with the Trustpilot reviews here. So the hypothesis, if we showcase this new type of social proof, then user will be more likely to purchase, leading to an increase in conversion rate and revenue per visitor, especially because the homepage is often the page exposed to the highest traffic. So which type of social proof can you use? So as you will see in the examples, it's always better to combine social proof elements. Here we have Gruns using the stars and how many people are using the product. Konzuri is using both Trustpilot badges, but also as seen in Milan Fashion Week. Those two are really powerful. Rise is 137,000 reviews. I don't know if this is true, but that's a lot of reviews, and also press mention. And you will see many are doing this. I love this visual. Over 4 million meals delivered, and as seen in the Independent and other medias. Here again, we have stars and over 500,000 products sold, and press mention again. Here for AG1, we have the number of verified reviews plus an actual customer testimonial. And here, Freebird, we have the stars plus the thumbnails with the actual people. This is something I see more and more brands using those days. And also here we can see press mentions. Here we already talked about Happy Nutra just a bit before. And we have the user-generated content. And lastly, here we can see the press mentions. Split testing idea number 4 is adding a search bar to your homepage. So if you have a lot of SKUs, or if during your analysis of your heat maps, you figure out that a lot of people are clicking on your navigation menu, or that people are spending a lot of time on your PLPs, then it might indicate that people are looking for some specific products that they are not finding easily. And so what you want to do is facilitate the process and the experience for them by adding a search bar on your homepage. So I'll show you some examples. Here we have Figs, and they have a big search bar at the top of their homepage hero section because they have a lot of SKUs. So people directly want to find what they are looking for. Same for Chewy, which actually added the search bar directly with the header. And I think they kind of got inspired from Amazon. So I've added Amazon just next to it. And why? It's because Amazon, most people, when they go on Amazon, the first thing they do is go in the search bar to try to find the product they are looking for. And so Chewy applied the same logic. And in terms of design for your search bar, don't try to reinvent the wheel or do something crazy. Just check the most famous search bar in the world, Google. So no need to overcomplicate things. So getting back to the original idea, the hypothesis is that if we add a search bar to the home page, then users will find the product they are looking for faster, increasing the likelihood of making a purchase, which in turn will result in a boost of conversion rate and revenue per visitor. Testing idea number 5, unique selling propositions. So the idea is that based on the research from analytics, etc., but especially surveys, you have observed that your buyers care most about a specific unique selling proposition compared to another one. Or there are like 2 or 3 unique selling propositions that seem to be way more important rather than the others. So the hypothesis is that if we prominently display XYZ unique selling proposition on the homepage, then visitor will better understand the product's value, leading to a higher engagement and increased conversion rate and improved revenue per visitor. So here is one idea in this layout where we could have like a scrolling bar showcasing all the different USPs, but I'll show you there are different ways to do it. So the one we just talked about is the auto scroll. So it's used by many supplement brands, as you can see here, with smoothie, big day, hydrating, no added sugars. Here it's vegan, blended in New Zealand, clinically tested. Here again we have carbon neutral, paraben free. Here is zero sugar, plant-based. So that's one way to showcase your unique selling proposition, is with the scrolling bar. Next example is using drop-down menus or scrollable cards. So here, for example, we have USPs showcased as drop-down menus. And what's great about this is that you could run a preliminary test where you're checking with heat maps where people are clicking the most. So for example, people might click more on taste rather than other elements. And that would mean that this is more important to them than other elements. But then you even want to use this higher on your homepage. And here we have cards. You see organic lion manes showcasing the benefits of the product of each of the different ingredients. Lastly, we have static. So for Dream Vision, we have the benefits here. For this brand, we have clean conscious, cruelty-free, And for breads, we have everything here, organic ingredients, made in the USA, federally legal, etc. So those are different ways that you can showcase your unique selling propositions and split test that against the current homepage that you have right now. Now let's talk about homepages that needs improvement. So as you probably heard with my accent, I am French, and what we French people are really good at is criticism, right? So we are going to criticize those websites' homepage. This one, there are a couple of things that you can say straight away, is that we cannot read the statement on the visual, so it's pretty useless. You always want to make sure where you have a visual that there is strong contrast between the text and the visual. Or what you can do is just have the text below or around the visual, but not on the visual. But if you do, make sure it's standing out. Then we don't have any call to action. So for visitors of this website, it's not logical what the next step should be. So they most probably will be clicking on navigation menu or scrolling the page. So you want to remove friction and directly have a clear call to action, leading people to the next logical page. Also here we have half of the page, half of the above the fold section that is taken by USPs, which is great, but it's not done in an optimized way. As we saw in the previous idea, you need to make sure that this is optimized. It can be like a bar, automatic scrolling, or any other thing that we talked about in the previous slide. Here, same problem. The text is blending in too much with the background visual, and we can hardly notice the call to action and the logo of the brand. So also there is like the space that could be used to showcase the call to action, or maybe social proof, but I'm guessing probably this person must be either an influencer or someone famous, which would act as social proof. Here it's way too cluttered. I'm guessing it's probably working because at least the visual and the layout conveys the idea that there is like a big sale going on the website, but there are just too many elements, 15% off, 20% off, 15, 25, etc. There is text here, there's something here. It's just too much. You want to be way more straight to the point, as we discussed when we talked about social proof. Now on this homepage, there are also a lot going on and it's quite cluttered, right? Like there are 2 notice bar, lots of text, lots of visual elements, but at least what they are doing right is that we can distinguish the call to action, and for the offer, we know exactly how much we're going to save, for how long it is going to last, and also how we're going to get the discount, no code needed. So that is quite good, but it needs to be simplified so that people can understand way faster. On this homepage, same problem, it's difficult to read the different elements. Loved by 40,000 families, this should stand out way more, and it's in black, so they should have put it here above like this beige background. And this is hardly readable, shop all bamboo pajamas. So always make sure there is contrast and that the text is readable. Here, the problem with this very artistic homepage is that it lacks all crucial elements. There is no call to action. There is no clear value proposition, postcard from anywhere but here, enjoy the summer. And also there is no social proof. So there's a lot that could be improved here. Last homepage. Here we have a lot of text, and the problem is that nowadays people don't read, they skim. So you will probably lose a lot of people here. You want to make it very easy and digestible for them, otherwise they will just bounce. So I hope that you liked this video and that you got some ideas of A/B tests you could run on your homepage. And I'll be giving you this Figma file for free so that you can study it, get some inspiration from the different homepages. The link will be in the description of the video. And I'm offering free audit. If you reach the end of the video, you can just click, it's the last slide on the Figma. You just have to click on it. It will redirect you to a form that you can fill, and basically I will get back to you within 24 hours with a Loom recording in which I will highlight the different things that could be improved on your store to increase your RPV and conversion rate. I will also add this link in the bottom of the video. And here is, in case you want to work with me or hire me to do a CRO for you, same, you can directly click in here, and also add the link in the bottom of the video. Q4 is starting tomorrow, so I wish you good luck and maybe talk to you soon.